Hello everyone, this is CB Smallwood and welcome to Coloring Comics with Gimp. I'm using Gimp version 2.8 for those that don't know. And it shouldn't matter what version of Gimp that you have, you should be able to do the same thing. If you see, like for example, that you have one big panel, don't panic because I have like these four panels. That's just the way I got it set up. That's for preference. The tools and everything should be roughly in the same place. With that said, let's go ahead and get started. Now today, I'm going to show you how to flat a comic book and the tools needed to do that. Now, first of all, the reason that it's important to flat a comic is for two reasons. It gives you, kind of like a base coat of colors to work from. And the second reason is it actually makes the process of coloring a comic book faster because you can select the areas that you've colored and work within those areas. Now, that sounds a little complicated, but once you get used to coloring comics, regardless of what program that you're using, whenever you use layers, you're going to find that it's important to have to do your flats first rather than color as you go. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my little layers dock, or you can go to layers and do things from there too. But I'm going to go over here to this dock. It says layers. I'm going to hit the plus sign, create a new layer. I'm going to hit transparency. Let me bring this over here where you can see it. I'm going to hit transparency. And I'm going to rename this layer background. And also, if you notice, I can't spell. So now we got what's called the background layer. Make sure that it's selected. It was already kind of grayed out, but just it's a good habit to do because trust me, I've made plenty of rookie mistakes by not having the right layer selected. So now we're going to click on this square up here in the corner, and what it is, it's a selection tool, and we're going to select these big, wide, open, empty spaces behind Wildcat, and we're going to color them. So we're going to hit this, and I'm just going to pick a random color. It doesn't really matter, so I'm going to use brown for this video. Bam! Now it's brown. I'm going to do it again right here. Yeah, just a little bit more. Let's bring this up. There we go. And where's my bucket tool here? Boom. Now that's brown. Now for this bottom part, my character Wildcat kind of has gray skin. So I'm just going to save myself a lot of trouble. So I'm going to go over here. Since this is pulled up, select gray. I'm going to make it a little bit lighter. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to hold down with my left button on my mouse, drag it over here until it's a little bit lighter. And I'm going to get the paint bucket tool and bam. Now it's going to save me a lot of trouble later on coloring him and all this other stuff. If I want to get rid of this box, I can hit OK, or I could hit the X in the corner. And don't worry, if you want to make that box come back, double click here, box comes back. Okay, so don't panic. Okay, now here's a pro tip, or whatever you want to call it. Let's say, like for example, that you want to color something up here for whatever reason, and you go and you pick a color, and you're going to make his arm red or something. You go to color it. Why isn't this working? Why doesn't it work? Well, don't panic. Don't panic. There's nothing wrong with the Gimp program. What it is you've made either one or two mistakes. The first mistake, if you notice, is this area down below is already selected. Okay, and it will not allow you to color anything outside that selected area. It doesn't matter how bad you want to do it. It's just not going to do it. The only thing that can be colored is this right here. Okay, so oops. The only thing that can be colored is anything that's within this box right here, okay? That's it. It will not color outside the lines. So how do we get rid of this box so that you can color other stuff? Well, what you need to do is hit Ctrl Shift A. All right? And when you do this, right? When you do this, hold down the Ctrl button, hold down the shift button, hold down the A button, and it'll make it go away. So the best way to remember it is Ctrl Shift A will make it go away. All right, so that will deselect, your image. All right, moving on from here, we've basically got our background colored. Don't worry about the fact that some of the elements of the foreground have been colored. We'll fix that, and we're going to fix that right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to hit the plus sign on our layers dock, and we're going to get transparency. And it doesn't really matter if you rename these or not. If you're somebody that's very meticulous and you need it to help you know what you're coloring, and if you got OCD, then you may want to rename it. I'm just going to call this layer Wildcat. That's the name of the character. I'm going to hit OK. So now I've created a new layer. That layer is selected. Always make sure that you got the right layer selected. And what we're going to do now is we're going to use the Lasso tool to select this image. All right. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit. There we go. So I'll use my zoom button here. Now let's use the lasso. Now what the lasso does, we can actually use the lasso outside the image, which is very helpful sometimes. And I kind of do this, and I'm using a mouse, by the way. I don't have like a stylus like a lot of the cool kids have. So I have to do everything by hand. Well, what I mean is I have to do everything with a mouse. I can't explain it. It's very tedious. And I'm not sure, how the stylus works with doing this sort of thing. Let me move this over so I can see what I'm doing. So, let me get down to here. And so this is how you use the lasso tool to highlight something. So I'm just going to go up through here. And once you get used to it, it goes by fairly quickly. Now, why in the world did it do that? That is lame. Let's see if I can make this larger somehow. And then there should be a little bubble up here, and you select it, and then look at that. That was a total waste of time. That's okay. Don't panic. We're just going to go quick now. And you know what? I'm going to leave my mistake in so you can just see how it's done, okay? So you can either do fancy with it and get it right the first time by doing what I did, okay? And selecting everything all the way across here, right? Or if you just get kind of aggravated, you can just do this. Now, Wildcat, his natural color is gray. So I'm just going to drag this up here. I'm going to use my paint bucket tool, and I'm going to make him gray. Now, you notice that it made some of the background gray as well. So we're going to fix that. We're going to take the eraser. The eraser's kind of tiny here, but I'm going to work with it for now. I'm going to do that. And look at there, it's making that other layer pop out. So that's cool. I'm going to make this eraser bigger. So what you do over here, you go over to your tool options box where it says size, and I'm going to press up on it. And that made it bigger. Now, as you're watching this and as you're learning, I just want to point out that this is my method of doing things. In my opinion, there's no right or wrong way to color comics as long as it looks cool, as long as it looks professional. And I think that's all that really matters in the end. And also to make sure that you save it in the right format when you're done. Otherwise, it's a lot of wasted work. So there you go. Now, remember what I said before, how to deselect something? Ctrl Shift A. So now that's unselected. And if I want to, I can just go ahead and get rid of some of this on the barrel. The smoke that's coming out of it. I don't know what the heck that is. Alright, same thing again. Take the selection tool and go, let's make this, drag it down. There, that's got it. I'm going to take and yeah, I can just fill it in gray. Let's just do it that way. Boom. Take my eraser, go around the edges. Now, the reason I'm doing it this way, so the way I did it before, is I'm kind of just recording in real time, and I don't think I'm going to speed anything up. I'm just you're watching me do it in sort of semi real time as I'm doing it, and so you kind of get an idea of the speed of stuff. All right, and you see I made little mistakes here and there. We can fix those later, but for the most part, I just want to kind of get the gist of it done. And Ctrl Shift A, that gets rid of that selection. So let's zoom out and let's kind of look at what we got here. Okay, so we've got this stuff. Let's get the gun. Now, the gun's going to be in the main foreground, the gun and the smoke. So hit the plus button, transparency, and we're going to rename this gun. Okay. Okay. And now this is going to be very, very meticulous. So what I am going to do to save time is going to start with this one because this is very simple, the simplest. Let me zoom in just a little bit. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start from here, go up to here. And if you hold down the left button on the mouse, you can actually do this and trace. Oh God, I'll just go back. I'll fix it later. Oh, so painfully meticulous. All right, there we go. Let me bring this down. Ah, shucks. Messed it all up. Whatever. And there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this gun a different color gray from Wildcat. And I'm going to hit this. And there we go. So now, Ctrl Shift A. Let's, and I can fix this, this little spot here with an eraser, hypothetically. There we go. Let's zoom out, hit the zoom button. And the way that you zoom out is you select zoom and then you hit the negative sign on your keyboard. Okay? If you ever want to zoom back in, left button on your mouse. Want to zoom out, negative on the keyboard, okay? So there you go. And then you would do this gun the exact same way that I did, this one with the smoke and stuff. So the cool thing about having the flats is when you go to color something and you want to just color that specific thing and not worry about getting outside the edges and stuff, if I want to color Wildcat, I can hit this little wand here, and then everything that is just Wildcat will only be selected there. I can also hit this color picker tool, and everything that is this color, what the crap, Ctrl Shift A, everything that is this color should be, highlighted. So I'm going to use the wand. I'll click him here, and I'm going to zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. And then I'll use my paint tool. I'll pick the red, and I like the size of the thingamajig, so I'm just going to go ahead and just do this. But anyway, you kind of get the idea how this works, and I want to change the size of my paintbrush so that way I'm less prone to make mistakes. Well. Going outside the edges, but I can fix that. It's no problem. And there you go. And there you go. Not perfect, but whatever. So let's zoom out, hit the thing, hit negative, and Ctrl Shift A. So now look, when you go to use the wand to select it, it's only going to select the gray. See, because it won't select that color red, because it's only going to select the color that you click on. So the cool thing about this is as you add details to this arm, it is going to, you're only going to be able to color everything that's within this selection. So you don't have to worry about coloring outside the lines. Control Shift A. So that's it today, folks. I hope this lesson's been helpful. Basically, just wanted to show you how to flat things. Now, there's people that get into a lot of theory about flatting. What is the best ways to flat about this and that? I recommend that you check out other YouTube videos to get the gist on that. I just want to show you the bare bone basics so that you can get started and make your comic book today and get started in coloring comics, and then you can learn from the pros how to do everything meticulously, correct from other people. I just want to help get you started. So if you found this video helpful and loaded you down with plenty of information, please remember to hit like and comment down below and subscribe to be kept up to date to all my latest shenanigans. As always, this is CB Smallwood, and I will see you in the next video.